I asked you guys to send me your dumbest create mod ideas, and this time I got over 140 different suggestions. I read through every single one, picked out some of my favorites, and now I'm gonna build them. A rainbow water wheel with deployers changing the wood type. Also, it is very fast. It may not look like it, but I assure you, this water wheel right here is in fact a rainbow water wheel. The only thing is, I need to push this very colorful button to get it started. Fair warning though, there are going to be a lot of flashing colors because it's a rainbow water wheel, so what can you do? And there she goes. So this probably looks a lot more like the rainbow water wheel you guys were expecting, and it's definitely a dumb build because there's no practical reason to do this other than that you can, but it's also just awesome. I mean, there's no denying this looks hilarious, it looks great, and I love it because I never even considered that you could do this. This is probably one of my favorite dumb builds I've made so far, if not my #1 favorite. And the best part is it's actually relatively simple to set up. So it turns out that deployers can act just like players and simulate right-clicking on a water wheel using a plank, which allows it to change color. So I've got 4 different deployers here, each with their own colorful plank of wood, and they are right-clicking one after another on this water wheel to change the color, and they're doing it really fast. And the really nice thing is the deployers, just like the player, doesn't actually consume the plank when they change the color of the water wheel. So this setup right here is pretty compact. Obviously, you're probably not gonna have creative motors to use, but there's no need to supply these with more than a single plank. And then the only other part of this is a redstone circuit that's very quickly turning off the redstone signal to each deployer, which allows it to extend, change the color, retract, and then it goes on to the next one. And just because I couldn't tell with the original comment if they wanted it to be fast with changing colors or if they actually wanted the water wheel itself to be very fast, I set this up right here so that we can make the water wheel itself spin, because if it wasn't hard enough on your eyes before, now it's even worse. And now it's really hurting my eyes. An automatic piston door that takes forever to open, and when it's open, it's too small to pass through. Well, here is my automatic door. It's obviously very fancy, and if I push this button right here, you'll see it very excruciatingly slowly opens, then it stops. And if I try to walk through this, unfortunately, I'm not able to make it through. You know, maybe I should have laid off the burgers or something. One thing you may have noticed though is this is pretty clearly not a piston door. I took some creative liberty when designing this to make it, you know, a little bit more create based, and I used mechanical bearings just because I think they're a little bit more interesting and because I was struggling a lot to set up a piston door that did this exact thing. So here we are. And a funny little Easter egg that I feel obligated to show everyone is if I walk right in the center here and I get stuck between the doors, and then I start jumping, for some reason it lets me climb between these. I don't understand it, and then I'm through. So if this build wasn't already dumb enough, that definitely seals it right there because the door doesn't even work. Build an elevator that once you click it, it never stops going up or down, and you must try to get out at the correct level without missing it. Also, to be fair, I'll let you run it at 128 speed. Oh my gosh, how generous of you. This one seems relatively simple. Here I have my elevator, there I have my platform. Before I start this though, one thing I did do that I actually think is pretty cool is I have a button in there that allows this to start going up and down, but then instead of just having it go up or down, I put a redstone contact at the bottom and then another one at the top, so it'll just keep going up and down without stopping until you hop off. Now the way I'm gonna test if I can actually do this correctly is I'm gonna put myself in survival, and the real test will be if I can jump out onto that platform up there without dying. So I get a little bit of leeway that I could be maybe a little bit late on it, but as long as I don't die, to me that's a win. And I push this button to start. Well, that's a problem. I said I push this button to start. I legitimately don't even know what's wrong here. Oh, it's because this one is okay. Guaranteed I go back down and it works now. Round 2. Aha! Now it works. That's troubleshooting right there. Okay, so I need to get off on the correct one. Come on. This actually isn't that fast. I think I'll be fine. How far up did I make this platform? Up, and there we go. I think maybe 128 was a little bit too easy. And you guys get to see, now it's going back down, and then eventually it'll come back up again. You know what, just for fun, I'm gonna reset this, and I'm gonna set it to 256 and see if that's harder. Okay, let's see if I can do this on 256. Okay, this is definitely faster. Probably coming up in like 2 seconds here, and go. Okay, I didn't take damage there either. Okay, this one's too easy. Definitely a dumb build, but not dumb enough to beat RagePlaysGames, I tell you what. Make a house that lifts up when it's close to you so you can't reach it. As you can see here, we have a totally normal house. Pay no attention to the perfectly designed crane that is currently attached to it. It's just a normal house. And then as I walk towards it, oh my God, where's the house going? Well, the crane lifts it up. And the only way for me to get it back down is to come over here, which just so happens to be out of range of the calibrated skulk sensor set to detect a person walking, push this button, and then the house comes back down. And it appears there's a slight technical flaw there where apparently it's grabbing the house without actually touching the house because it's a slab at the top. But regardless, I go back because, oh my God, the house is back to, and it's taken away again. I think this is pretty funny. Obviously, it wouldn't really make any sense because you'd always have to have the crane there, but I still think it's pretty funny. You know, it's a little bit infuriating. And then if you're, you know, super smart and understand game mechanics, we can just sneak on up to the house, and because the calibrated skulk sensor is set specifically for detecting movement, I can open and close the door, and now I'm good. And I actually should be able to get a little bit of a ride if I... There we go. Nice. Now I've got a house with a view. Make a 3D printer using moving deployers that go up and down and place concrete based on some sort of user input. I've got my 3D printer right here. Unfortunately, it is a horizontal 3D printer, not a vertical 3D printer, but I think it still counts. And I've got this button right here, press button to make something beautiful. I mean, why wouldn't you want something beautiful in your world? So we'll push that, and bleh. So I totally got you guys with this one because there was another comment wanting a machine that builds Donnie's face in your world, which I have no idea why you'd ever want that, but 2 birds, 1 stone. Call me a Minecraft pickaxe because I've got efficiency 5 right now. The funny thing about this whole setup though is it actually makes use of just a regular create mod game mechanic where you can set the filter for a deployer to be a schematic, and then as long as it's placed down in the world, the deployers will place the blocks for that schematic. So that's exactly what's happening right here. I'm not totally sure how you would ever actually make use of this in a survival situation, but it is a core functionality which I don't think most people know or really ever make use of. A room with a bed inside that locks every time a villager tries to enter to sleep in the bed. So I've got a house right here, and the front area has a, let's just call it a villager containing unit. And you can see inside the house, there's a bed along with, you know, some other create mod stuff that we're not going to pay any attention to. But if I place a villager down in here and then I set it to nighttime, the villager will go for the bed and then they will get blown away and the door will get closed. And then they'll go back for the bed, they'll get blown away again, and the door will close. And we could just sit here and watch this for the entire Minecraft night because it actually ends up being entertaining for a pretty long period of time. I did take a little bit of creative freedom with this one in making it so the villager could open the door and then would get blown back instead of the door just locking when they tried to go in. This is almost more like a typical villager torture device because they're just constantly trying to do the same thing. But still, I actually think this is really funny. And if we want to make the villager feel bad, I can sneak right in when they can't. Ho-ho, loser. Oh my gosh, this bed feels so nice and comfortable. That's fantastic. A house, but when you try to open the door, the wall opens instead. Again, you guys are always asking me to build the houses, so I have my cookie cutter house here that I was able to paste in, thankfully, so I didn't spend even more time building another house. And if I go to open the door, all the walls open along with the door. Technically, it's not instead of the door, they open with the door. If I close the door, the walls close with the door. So I'm just gonna do it again. I think this is hilarious. I love this one. Again, this is one of my favorite dumb builds I've made. There is no reason that you would ever do this, but the concept to me is extremely funny, and it's actually relatively simple how this works. I just have one calibrated skulk sensor for opening the door, one calibrated skulk sensor for closing the door, and then we've just got the toggle latch here, which is going to be flipping the direction of rotation back and forth, so the walls either go up or they go down depending on if the door is opening or closing. So I can just do this as much as I want, and I'm pretty sure I can actually interrupt it in the middle and just keep flipping it back and forth. And the best part is, otherwise it's a fully functioning house. You know, you got everything you need in here to live. You just maybe if it's a nice day, you know, open the door and let the walls down and get some fresh air inside. Make something you want to. You aren't bound by our silly comments, Rage. Free yourself, break free from the confines of your dear community and build something intuitive. Free yourself, Rage, free yourself. Actually, can you make a fish that spins, please? Thank you. Why don't you guys tell me, can I make a fish that spins? I also hate to say it, but I really like this one too, mostly because the fish pixel art I think looks pretty good, but I can't take credit for this. I don't know how to make pixel art. I searched this up on Google and it took me way too long to replicate it. Thank you, Google, for the pixel art. Build a sheep end rod machine, but let the user choose the speed and length of the rod. Okay, first off, guys, we've already done one that's basically this same thing. And second, just what is wrong? As you can see here, I have constructed an extremely versatile sheep end rod machine, and it comes with many functionalities. So we've got the +1 option here, and if I hit this, it extends out. Oh, that looks like it was +2. Let's just, we'll just fix that really fast. Boom, problem solved. And then if I want more, I go again. Okay, and now it's back to +1. That's fantastic. That's not confusing at all. And let's just say like I'm a sicko, you know, like maybe I'm a total freak and I'm like, yeah, give me another +1. And what if I really have serious problems and I'm like, give me another +1? And then I've got the option here to up the speed. So let's just max it out. Obviously, we're gearing it down or gearing it up. So it's already at 256 RPM. And then, I mean, I don't really know who wrote this one. That definitely wasn't me, but yes. I'm so sorry. They made me do it. They made me do it. Build the trolley problem. Are you guys happy? Is this what you wanted? I make videos on Minecraft, right? And we're addressing a philosophical issue here, building the trolley problem. If you guys don't know what the trolley problem is, even though I think most people know, you've got a trolley, or in this case, a train, and it's barreling down the tracks towards a bunch of people. And it's going to kill those people if it continues on its way, and it'll kill, let's say, 4 people. But you have the option of switching the train to go on another track, and it'll kill 1 person. So the philosophical, moral dilemma, whatever it is do you pull the lever yourself to make it only kill 1 person, thus directly being responsible for the death of that 1 person or villager? Or do you allow the train to just barrel through the other 4, but technically it's not you that did it, right? That's fun, right? Like, we're playing Minecraft, we're having fun. Why would you guys ask me to make this? So I've got the train there, and then I have this right here, which is a track switch, which, yes, this is not in the base create mod. To build this thing for you guys, I did have to install create Steam and Rails, but almost everyone uses that anyway, so it's totally fine. It will cause me to have mental anguish, which of course everybody wants, right? Push this, and then the train starts, and wait, I actually didn't know. I didn't think about which one I want to do. I didn't think, no, train switch. Did he die? I don't even know. They're gone. Are they dead? They're not dead. They're just trapped on the front of this. I'm sorry, dude. Philosophically, you had to die. That's how it works.